Tzu Chi volunteers in Washington, D.C. are rehearsing a performance on Buddha's life. Volunteers in Guar Chempedak, Malaysia work with a Buddhist center to promote vegetarianism. Welcome to the Headlines. I'm Jenny Lee. Thank you for joining us. To celebrate Tzu Chi's 55th anniversary, U.S. Tzu Chi volunteers will put on a performance depicting Buddha's life. Volunteers use Zoom to teach performers before they adjust the formation at the rehearsal. Many on-stage volunteers are in their 70s or 80s, but they have a strong willpower in participating in the sutra adaptation.
Let me look at you from the side. All right. Let me look at you from the side. Extend it straight. Yes, extend it straight. Then pull to the sides. This way, you'll look stately.
Washington, D.C. Tzu Chi volunteers have applied distance learning in sutra adaptation rehearsals, so people who work can also catch up. They can learn at home and then practice their formation at the Tzu Chi office.
Of course, the first reason is that many people are getting vaccinated. In addition, the governor has announced that while originally 10 people can gather, now it is open to 50 people. So, Tzu Chi sisters are complying with it. This time, we have almost 30 people participating in performing sign language.
The onstage volunteers are upholding their initial aspirations, even if they're elderly, as they participate in the sutra adaptation.
Banqiao Jingseho held a prostrating pilgrimage to celebrate Tzu Chi's 55th anniversary. More than 800 people attended the event. In preparation, volunteers had cleaned up and placed markers on the ground. It was a spiritual experience for all attendees.
Volunteers counted distance and placed markers. To celebrate Tzu Chi's 55th anniversary, more than 800 people attend a prostrating pilgrimage at Banqiao Jingseho.
Everyone knows to walk following the position markers. We walk in here steadily. Everyone is joyful.
Zhu Jinghua comes every year despite suffering from knee pain. After doing recycling in the morning, she joins the pilgrimage in the afternoon.
Joining the prostrating pilgrimage can get rid of our negative karma. It also allows us to become joyful and carefree.
85-year-old Liang Chuzhi works agilely despite her old age. She comes to Tzu Chi grounds to do recleaning every day. This day she's working happily, especially because her family has come.
My entire family, including my sisters, brother, and uncle, have come here with joy.
Amidst the Buddhist chanting, the participants walk forward slowly. They piously bow, kneel down, and pay respect to the Buddha. In 80 minutes, everyone joins the pilgrimage in a uniform formation. After the pilgrimage is completed, they can return to their daily life with Dharma joy.
In Taichung, a housewife, Lai Huijuan, lost her husband to lung cancer last June. When he was in the hospital, he was inspired by programs on Diet TV and learned to face death calmly. He even wanted to be a volunteer. Now, Lai Huijuan decided to join volunteer training to fulfill her husband's last wish.
The deep pitch produced by the singing bowl produces a healing effect. 60-year-old Lai Huijuan, with husband passed away, is accompanied by her relatives to join a sound healing course in order to ease the pain. Looking back in 2017, when her husband was diagnosed with non-adenocarcinoma, both of them were shocked.
Back then, he was really agitated, as he was reluctant to leave me alone and take on the family business.
When Mr. Zhuang was in the hospital, his emotions fluctuated inevitably. Yet, the company of his family and volunteers, coupled with watching Diet TV, made him face life and death more kindly. The real-life programs also inspired him a lot.
He would watch the program attentively and then shed tears.
Thank you. Thank you. God bless you.
For example, international disaster relief, something like turning Africa over, and many terrible things done with Taiwan. All this touched him a lot.
Mr. Zhang wanted to contribute more to the society, but unfortunately passed away. His wish was fulfilled by his wife Lai Huijuan, who joined the ranks of volunteer training.
I'm very pleased that my sister-in-law can have this affinity to complete his wish.
The Da'ai TV program accompanied Mr. Zhuang through his last life journey. With a grateful heart, Lai Huizhuan hopes to spread this love to those in need.
TIMA members from the North District started visiting Keelung Genesis Social Welfare Foundation twice a year since 2015 to help vegetative patients clean their teeth. They bring special devices to ensure patients' safety during dental cleaning. Take a look.
A total of 5 healthcare workers and volunteers clean the teeth of one persistent vegetative state patient once every 6 months. TIMA members from the North District will go to the Keelung Genesis Social Welfare Foundation to help patients clean their teeth.
For general teeth cleaning, we just brush the gum of their teeth, while their teeth calculus cannot be totally removed. But after you came here to help them clean, their calculus is gone or become less, and the smell of their mouth has improved.
The high-standard dental cleaning is the best service provided by the Genesis Foundation to take care of the oral health of vegetative patients. Dr. Guar Chempedak, who is the director of the Keelung Dental Association, is rarely absent. This time, he brought his daughter to serve.
We all think the vegetative patient should be well taken care of, so we should come to serve them. Frankly speaking, I feel very honored to be able to help them.
The needs of the residents here are not the same as those in the hospital or clinics, so I hope by going to Keelung to serve once every 6 months, I can better understand the situation of dental cleaning for vegetative patients and how to deal with it. I also want to thank the residents here for giving me such an opportunity to learn.
While the medical team is helping everyone with dental cleaning, they also closely monitor the blood oxygen levels of the patients simultaneously. In addition, with the special dental suction device, coupled with the 5 pulp lights working together, the risk of volunteers' infection can be reduced.
It separates the air from the wastewater. After the air is expelled, the wastewater is drained directly. So after using disinfectant, we can dismantle the pipelines and pack. We do not need to clean it again.
Healthcare workers and volunteers completed their mission with a cautious attitude, forming a good affinity with the VVS patients.
64-year-old Cui Jianhua is the station manager of Huaqing Garden Recycling Station. She goes out to collect recyclables each day before the sanitation workers take it away. She has inspired many in the community to protect the earth, and she hopes to continue spreading this message.
每天上街来做环保，我觉得很有意义，身体也健康，更重要的，我心里欢喜。
Using a large bag to pick out and save recyclables from her community's waste bins, this is what 64-year-old Cui Jianhua does every day.
每天都害怕他们扔。
I'm afraid recyclables will be processed as garbage, so I head out to make the rounds before the sanitation workers arrive. I want to save the recyclables.
As the station manager of Shenyang Qinghua Gardens Recycling Station, she lives and breathes recycling. In the past few years, thanks to her efforts, she can proudly say she's made her community aware of recycling now.
This part that holds the plastic bags together used to be considered as trash and buried in the ground.
这个它收是多少钱呢？这个收是5毛钱公斤。挺好。
It was thrown away before, and now in our hands it's a valuable resource.
The recycling station does not have much storage area, and they must regularly take recyclables to the processing plant to sell. Thankfully, on this day, a male volunteer was around to help take the recyclables to the plants.
累吧？
不累。
还不累呀？这一身汗。
心里欢喜，身体苦一点，不如心里欢喜。
是吧？
做环保确实很受益，环保让人心清静。
Cui Jianhua also educates those she comes across about the recycling mission.
希望能通过我来做环保。
I hope through my efforts of recycling and me setting an example, more people can join to love the planet and do recycling. It's easy as starting from families, which then becomes society.
In retirement, being green and loving the planet helps to make the days more colorful.
The Tzu Chi office in Guar Chempedak, Malaysia started promoting vegetarian diet every week since October last year. A Dharma master from a Buddhist center agreed to allow Tzu Chi volunteers to cook the lunch boxes at their kitchen to promote the campaign together, and the response was overwhelmingly positive.
Thank you.
Early in the morning, Xie Yuexiang rushed to the market to buy ingredients. She has undertaken the challenge of making 130 vegetarian lunch boxes.
In the beginning, I was under great pressure. In fact, I have never cooked for so many people before, nor cooked vegetarian food at home. It's really a big challenge for me to prepare for more than 100 lunch boxes. But actually, we're very happy because we're able to accomplish the task. We have the Dharma joy. Some sisters also came to help us.
We lend this kitchen to Tzu Chi volunteers to cook vegetarian food. Here is spacious. Secondly, vegetarian food is good for everyone to eat because it is good for our health. So with this space and their enthusiasm for cooking, it is good for them to form good affinity with everyone.
To promote vegetarianism in the community, the support of residents and school teachers is the biggest motivation.
When I heard Sister Yuexiang mention promoting vegetarianism, I asked her if she could also give the vegetarian lunchboxes to the teachers of my school. When the teachers ate the food, they say it's delicious and asked if they could take it home for their families to eat.
I especially like to eat this one. These are Thai salad and dried tofu. I like to eat this kind of dish. It's quite delicious, sour and sweet, but not too spicy. It suits my appetite.
It is hoped that one can start having one vegetarian meal every week to accelerate the pace of caring for our earth.
In Taiwan, 30 Tzu Chi volunteers went to clean a low-income household in Neihu. The residents are two brothers who have physical and mental conditions that undermine their ability to keep a clean house. After their mother had passed away, the house was left in squalor until the volunteers' visit. Here's the news.
Used bamboo chopsticks, plastic spoons, and other garbage have filled the refrigerator. The large refrigerator has been broken for a long time. As it weighs about 50 to 60 kilograms, several men are moving it downstairs together.
We see refrigerators, washing machines, closets very often. We have experience since we have been doing recycling for more than 10 years.
I will use cleaner first and scrub the place later.
In the kitchen, thick layers of dirt can be found. In the restroom, the toilet is dirty beyond imagination.
After the mother passed away, the house has become like this. You have come to clean it up. We brought 2 beds so they can sleep more comfortably.
The shoes at the door are old. As miscellaneous items have piled up in the living room, how can they live here?
There are also many cans and plastic bottles. They did not throw away the food they ate, so it accumulated.
Sometimes we are told at a recycling station that some people are moving. If so, we will try to save items for them to use.
We've lived here for more than 40 years. Sometimes we cleaned up the place, but it became dirty again. What can we do?
The two brothers are living with one another. They're both low income and suffer illnesses as they need people's care.
In the U.S., COVID-19 vaccination is well underway, and Tzu Chi Medical Foundation has also set up vaccination spots. Everyone can make appointments online or over the phone with the help of Tzu Chi volunteers. The phone option puts Chinese-speaking seniors at ease as they can communicate in their language and complete the registration.
We're in the middle of the worst pandemic that most of us have ever seen in our lives. Fortunately, over the last few weeks, we've been able to get a more steady supply of the COVID-19 vaccinations, put out a site out here just to vaccinate those who are eligible.
Currently, we are vaccinating, it's 3 primary targets. Number 1 is health professionals or people that work at the front line in the health profession. The second group is based on age. Currently, we are vaccinating anyone that is over 65, including general public. And the third is more of a special group, is that there are some people who get the first dose elsewhere and they could not get their second. The elderly patients, we do have a large number of them that are asking about the vaccine. And now seeing all these patients are returning to get the vaccine, I'm just very, very happy.
For our elderly patients is that you have to sign up online. For some of our patients, they wouldn't even be able to do that if the website is in Chinese or in their native language, and they don't know how to use the internet. They can't get on, they can't fight for these spots.
We have a group of Tzu Chi volunteers to operate we so-called a hotline. So it's simple as making a phone call, and our volunteers on our end will do everything else for them.
I just tried to make an appointment. Luckily, I called and there was an opening, so I came today to get the shot.
Your service is wonderful. I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart.
We became an FQHC lookalike clinic at the end of October of 2020.
Being a FQHC, we do have a special route, or I guess easier way of obtaining the vaccine. Currently, we believe we are able to get 10 vials weekly.
Ready?
Yes. I thought it was really easy and it's very efficient. The registration, just nothing at all.
I feel I'm so lucky because I was able to make an appointment at Tzu Chi.
I advised many of my senior friends to make a vaccination appointment at Tzu Chi because coming here is just so convenient.
It basically allows us to work more closely with the federal government to reach harder to reach communities, underserved areas, underprivileged people, underinsured people. This is my home, this is my community. If we don't step up to serve the community that we are a part of, how will we ever really move on?
Our goal is to vaccinate everyone. Every dose given, more relief, because that means one extra person is protected.
Tzu Chi is ready and willing to vaccinate and serve as many people as we possibly can. It's the first step moving forward. It's the first sign of hope for our community.
Drug detection dogs are vital for the Customs Administration and police departments to keep drugs at bay. Most dogs join the service at age 2 and work for 5 to 7 years when they're the human equivalent of 50 to 65 years old. When they retire from the service, they go to government-approved foster homes as civil servants to live out the rest of their lives in comfort.
Pablo sniffed the entire row of goods quickly and suddenly found a parcel with hidden drugs. He's a well-trained drug detection dog.
Receiving the detection award was all dependent on Pablo.
Once a dog handler for Pablo, Lu Guohao adopted it after it was decommissioned from duty after 7 years.
I probably took it for a run more often when I was at work. I later found out when Pablo was a bit older now, I took it out less often as it was really old.
Humans and dogs grow at different speeds. In the past, Lu Guohao and him were partnered together in the fight against drugs, and when Lu was newly married and Pablo was very old, becoming his best man. Staff are lining up to salute the decommissioning of a drug detection dog who has spent half their life working here and are finally returning to their hometown. The age of decommissioning drug detection dogs is 7 to 9 years old, which is the equivalent of a human between 50 and 65 years old. Humans could look forward to have a retirement life, and dogs also have to be looked after when they are old. Xiao Hei, the country's first drug detection dog, retired after working for customs for 7 years. The dog handler, Liu Zhenzong, grabbed the first chance and eagerly adopted it.
He died about 3 years after he was decommissioned at the age of 8 because he had cancer.
On the day of Xiao Hei's death, Liu Zhenzong personally hand-fed the last meal. He and Xiao Hei spent 10 years together, both day and night. When mentioning this final goodbye, he still chokes up with emotion.
Later, after the cremation, his ashes are buried under the stone. Every year during Tomb Sweeping Festival, I'll bring him some food that he likes to eat, like some steamed buns and watermelon, and pray for him.
就来这边祭拜一下。
Labrador have this excellent characteristic, which is their personality is so gentle. For this reason, many elderly people will like them very much.
Adopted families of anti-drug dogs in accordance with laws and regulations are the dog handler of the working partner, the foster family that was involved when the dog was young or a puppy, and the military and public education personnel. This couple is raising 3 decommissioned drug detection dogs. Three old dogs have equivalent age of human grandparents. When they were young, they were all fostered by this husband and wife, and their friendship over the years has never been forgotten.
We have been paying attention to it all the way until it retired, and then we brought it back to the family. We feel like a mom and dad as they are very happy to see their son retire from army.
At the beginning, I made an agreement with this dog. I also wanted to go to tests into custom work and wanted to be a dog handler to be together.
These decommissioned detected dogs have a passion, so even if they are old and adopted by a family, they can really bring a lot of joy.
In July 2008, Taiwan began to cultivate customs detection dogs. So far, 43 such dogs have been released from service and entered adoptive families. Each one is living on happily in old age.
At that time, the team leader wanted to adopt Nash because she thought our players like animals very much.
Nash has been part of the women's basketball team for more than a year. It no longer has a designated handler, but has gained a group of lively basketball players who love to play with it.
Nash's behavior always heals us unconsciously because it is so much like a human. Its current function for me is healing me and our players.
A bark and then a hug. This dog makes people laugh with joy, as it no longer has the tough veneer of a serious drug detection dog and can now continue to play and become a companion dog for this team, bringing lots of positive energy.
Students from Hualien Tzu Chi High School presented their artistic talents through art, music, and dance. We'll leave you with the footage. Thank you for joining us. See you next time.